You may have heard the news about Johnny Depp. For a long time, he has been accused of being an abuser to his ex-wife Amber Heard. Well, if you've been following the story, we just got leaked audio a couple days ago showing that Johnny Depp was in fact the victim. There's still possible details we don't know about, but at the very least, we know Amber Heard Amber Heard was heard on audio recording saying, "I was hitting you, stop being a baby," trying to gaslight Johnny Depp. And boy, do I sympathize with Mr. Depp. You know why? They tried to destroy his life. They tried to destroy his career. He lost his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. I'll be honest, I don't think we need any more of those movies, but still, if people want to see them and like them, then he should be allowed to have the roles he wants. But he was cast as Grindelwald in the new Harry Potter franchise movies. I'm not a fan of the Grindelwald film, but hey, that's Johnny Depp, right? They tried to get him fired. J.K. Rowling apparently came to his defense, and people were outraged, demanding his termination. Well, here's the latest. The tides have turned as evidence has emerged that Amber Heard was the aggressor or the abuser, or at least to a certain degree she's admitted it. There is now a petition with over 100,000 signatures demanding she be fired from Aquaman 2. Now, look, man, I don't know if cancel culture is the way to go about these things. It's kind of a challenge because we're not talking about somebody who said naughty words and challenged the moral line. We're talking about somebody who beat their domestic partner. That's a whole new level. So maybe there is some degree of canceling that matters, that makes sense. But Johnny Depp was accused, and you saw the pictures of Amber Heard. They still didn't fire him, and it turns out he was innocent. Maybe we just don't do the cancel culture thing. Maybe a court of law should handle it, and that's about it. And following that, if people don't want to work with her, then so be it. Let's read the story, and I'll pull up the petition. Bounding into Comics reports, Aquaman 2, petition to remove Amber Heard from the sequel as Mira closes in on 100,000 signatures. It's actually well above that. So as of the last time I refreshed it, okay, it's at 133,656. I'm just going to refresh it and then we'll come back, but we'll read the story. There is renewed vigor in the demand to recall Amber Heard from the Aquaman sequel in light of new information regarding abuse during her relationship with actor Johnny Depp. A Change.org petition by Leanne Larson, remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2, standing currently at around 96,000 signees, is nearing 100,000. Well, we now know it's well over. The petition is aimed at Senior Vice President of Publicity and Communications for DC Warner Bros., Courtney Simmons, and Paul McGuire, Corporate Communications of DC Entertainment. Let's see what we're at right now. All right, so we are currently at 139,336 signatures. So people are taking this seriously, I suppose. I'll read let me just read the petition for you instead of doing the snippets. The petition says, Amber Heard has been exposed as a domestic abuser by Johnny Depp. In his $50 million lawsuit, Johnny Depp describes many incidents of domestic abuse that he suffered at the hands of his then wife, Amber Heard, including one incident where she punched him twice in the face and another where she shattered his finger with a vodka bottle, and his finger had to be surgically reattached. He will bear the scar from that for the rest of his life. I completely empathize and sympathize. Also, Amber Heard was arrested in 2009 for abusing a former domestic partner, Tasya Van Ree, demonstrating a repeated pattern of abuse by Amber Heard. Since Heard's divorce from Johnny Depp, she has systematically crusaded to ruin Depp in Hollywood, repeating multiple accounts of fake incidents in which she had actually abused Johnny Depp, but lied and created false accounts of him being the abuser. About the incident during which she shattered the bones in Johnny Depp's finger and nearly severed it, causing Depp to require surgery to reattach and repair it. Heard presented a false story, claiming that he cut off his finger himself, dipped it in paint, and scrawled obscenities all over the walls. That sounds absolutely nuts. From the audio, we heard Amber Heard say, yeah, I was hitting you, yada, yada, and that you're such a baby. Why would I believe Johnny Depp would cut off his own finger and paint the wall with it? Especially when she's on audio tape saying, I abuse you. Don't believe it. Likewise, Heard recounts fabricated incidents of Johnny Depp hitting her in the face when she had in fact punched him. Though staff and neighbors in the building where she lived reported seeing no marks on her face, in the hours and days after, she says Johnny Depp hit her, yet she appeared in court 6 days later with bruises on her face, asking for a temporary restraining order, which was granted. Photos of Heard from the very next day show her full face without makeup and not a single bruise. As Amber Heard is a known and proven domestic abuser, Warner Brothers and DC Entertainment should and must remove Heard from their Aquaman 2 film project. They must not ignore the suffering of Heard's victims and must not glamorize a domestic abuser. I agree with that last bit. You know, look, going back to cancel culture stuff, I am not a fan of it. But I'll ask you guys this. Should a domestic abuser be canceled? Like, I mean, this is somebody who she lied and manipulated the press. This is somebody who used our goodwill and the goodwill of feminism, the people who are going to believe women or believe the victim, and weaponize that against Johnny Depp to destroy him, to punish him when he was already the victim. I pointed out in the first video I did on this, you actually have feminists coming out saying maybe we need to reconsider what believe women really means. Take their claims seriously, but investigate. And this is why, otherwise Johnny Depp, the victim, gets his life ruined. They say, men are victims of domestic abuse just like women. This must be recognized, and action must be taken to prevent a known abuser from being celebrated within the entertainment industry. Do the right thing. Remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2. I'm still not fully on board with cancel culture, so don't ask me. But I do think this is the most deserving I've seen. You know, they want to ban someone for making a naughty joke. We're talking about somebody who abused her husband and then lied about it and tricked all of us. Recording. I wasn't punching you. I was hitting you. Here's one of the first comments from 11 months ago. Really, this has been ongoing. Johnny lost his role as Captain Jack Sparrow because of the lies and smear campaign launched by his ex-wife Amber Heard, and almost lost the role of Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts 2, Crimes of Grindelwald. Amber Heard, oh, there's more, yeah. Amber Heard has gone on to star in Aquaman, which grossed over $1 billion, an endorsement deal with L'Oreal, and has become an ambassador for the UN, and has not suffered any of the backlash that Johnny has, despite the truth coming out that she was the abuser in the last 15 months of the marriage, and that she was the one using the Me Too movement for her own gain, and was making a mockery out of actual survivors of domestic violence. Drop Amber Heard as Mera. Cast someone else in the role who actually has acting talent. Whoa, under the belt. And let Amber Heard suffer the consequences that she has long gotten away with. Therein lies the big double standard of how it works in the Me Too era. I think the people who should be the most angry about this are feminists and supporters of the Me Too movement. She has caused such harm to the reputation and provided ammunition to those who would say don't believe the women. No, I think we want to take victims' claims seriously. But if someone comes to me claiming they're a victim, I'll say, well, let's do what we can to verify and prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Right now, you are absolutely going to see a bunch of people saying, aha, see, look, women are lying. Oh, this is proof. Look what she did. And perhaps it's true to a certain degree that there are women who lie. Absolutely. Of course there would be, right? So the people who should be mad are those who were manipulated. She used the weight of the Me Too movement as leverage to hurt somebody, to hurt Johnny Depp. She didn't face the backlash, she did. Check this story out. Harry Potter fans protest Johnny Depp's role in Fantastic Beasts sequel from 17 November 2017. Could you imagine being Johnny Depp, having been abused, nearly lost your finger, beaten by this woman, and then she goes on a crusade to destroy what you have left, to ruin your life, to lose movie roles, and then have people go on Twitter and mock and berate you as the victim and demand more be taken from you. That must be truly horrifying, which is why the outrage mob is a dangerous thing, which is why cancel culture is a dangerous thing, because we often just don't know. Many people like to think they're smarter than a court of law, but you know, when it comes to juries and judges, they probably hear more evidence than you realize. I think in the end, the best thing we could actually do is kind of back away and let the courts do what they were designed to do, and for good reason. You know, the laws we have, the Constitution we have, innocent until proven guilty. I think those are very, very important things. I don't even want to necessarily say that the recording proves Amber Heard is 100% guilty. It does prove to an extent that she lies. It proves that she was hitting Johnny Depp. It proves to a certain degree that she was the aggressor. She was hitting him. He wasn't hitting back. And then there are questions about whether or not he actually hit her in the first place. Or even if he did, was it self-defense? But man, I could not imagine being, this is one of the problems of the feminist double standard. That they say believe women. But while it may be more rare that men are the victims, how could you blame a victim? I don't care if you're a man or a woman. How can you truly believe in equality and claim that you're fighting for equality if you would just assume the man is the bad guy? It's not about equality then. You got a chip on your shoulder and you don't like dudes, or you mistrust them, or you think something's wrong, or you think something's bad. I don't. I do believe in equality. That means if a dude comes to me and says this happened, I'll say, let's see what we can do to prove it. If a woman comes, I'll say, let's see what we can do to prove it. That's about it. You know, they say on the internet, pics or it didn't happen. I'm glad to see that Johnny Depp's life wasn't completely destroyed. I'm happy to hear that, new information has come out. I don't think we're gonna see anything necessarily in terms of real punishment. The report from Bounding into Comics doesn't really talk about any potential, any potential ramifications for Amber Heard. But I'll say this: nothing will happen to her. That's my prediction. I think she'll be fine. I think she'll do the movie. She'll be rich forever. She'll get away with it. Stick around. Next segment's coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Podcast every day at 6:30, and I will see you all next time.